Hello folks, and welcome to the third video of our Trinity St. Patrick's Day Extravaganza series. And this one is the wrap-up video just to take a look at the last two components of this particular lecture today, or whatever this is supposed to be. I guess it's not really a lecture, but and if I just pop up the Blackboard site, we're looking at sharing evaluation results. And again, this is addressing that notion of the completeness that is necessary when we're doing a program evaluation. Spend a lot of time planning and preparing and gathering all the material and writing it all up. But if you don't share it, you don't create some kind of ability for the world to see what you've done, it's really a big waste of time. And so that's what I want to leave you with as far as the actual mechanical part of conducting your evaluation is all about. And there is a website that I have linked to right here from Blackboard, and lots of useful information, set everything up. And so I kind of borrowed some of the material that they have and just summarized it under the basic principles of sharing survey results. So a lot of those will be straightforward to you. But again, if you're not sharing, and the other important thing, if you're not making recommendations or passing judgment, then when you do complete your program evaluation, it's kind of pointless if you don't do those things. And for those people who are carrying on to the 810 class, this is going to be very important as far as having a strategy for sharing and thinking about the actual process that you'll go through, because you will do an evaluation and you will share it with people, and you'll have to plan to organize that communication campaign so that everyone is aware of it. For those of you who are finishing with 809, I wanted you to have this information because I think in future when you are tasked with doing an evaluation, then it's really important to be aware of these things. Much like the ethics section, which I'm sure you just finished watching and were so captivated by. So basic principles. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but it is common sense. They do overlap with the ethics that we discussed, so being honest is really important. If people have been involved in the process and they know they've said things and it doesn't appear in the evaluation or in the communication, that's going to raise some warning signs for them, some red flags. So make sure that you're not spinning or hiding information. Being timely is really important. As teachers, we know that feedback that comes back right away is useful to put into practice. It's helpful to have because people are still aware of what they've unpacked in the evaluation and their involvement in it. So you really want to make sure that you don't take 10 hours or 10 years to finish the final presentation. I was reading about the Great Lakes and this Asian carp. They're doing an evaluation of the harm and what it's going to do, and they figure they'll have that report done by the feds in the States in 2 years. Well, by then the Asian carp may have invaded the entire Great Lakes. So really important to be timely, especially if there's critical decisions that have to be made based on the evaluation. Appropriate information at each level. So if you're working with a team or a series of teams, then yeah, upper admin sees things differently than other people, and that has to do with if you're working with HR issues. So if people's livelihood is directly impacted by the results of your evaluation, then you really want to be aware of that and let people who work with folks or who manage, who are responsible for implementing your recommendations, have the ability to come up with a plan and take charge of the implementation of that information or the recommendations you have, as opposed to you saying, oh, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fire all you people and then run out the door kind of thing. That doesn't really work. So you want to engage those people who will be there for the implementation process. Embarrassing people in front of their peers, that goes back to that confidentiality issue and making sure that anonymity is protected as well. So you really want to be cognizant of protecting people's feelings, rights, other things like that. You don't want to leave an organization in worse shape than you found it. And program evaluations have the potential to do that. They can have a very divisive impact on people, so be aware of that. Again, confidentiality, really important. And then have a plan of what happens next machine. Have that in place ahead of time so that people are asking you questions. Well, where do we go now? Not all those decisions have been made. Hopefully they haven't all been made, but at least there's a process in place to ensure that something will come out of the hard work that you've done. Communication, yeah, two-way communication, questioning. So if you have a public forum, make sure you set it up so that you can present the information and then work from there. Yeah, and so that is, people are knocking on my door. Hi, Kim. And so if you have an HR person working at the organization that you're in, then oftentimes you can have that person work with you or be a part of the presentation, and they can help you just based on the company guidelines that they've got. All right, the assignment, as we've talked to, is due March 31st, so I'll just kind of skip over that. So if you've gotten through that whole process, what are some of the options that are available to you? And we talk about making our classes practical, and the notion that once you're done this class, you will have the skill set and the potential to create or be involved as a program evaluator. And that means people may come to you based on your knowledge or their understanding of your knowledge. If you're working in a school division, maybe you've been asked to take this course because there are opportunities to evaluate programs. Maybe you're an administrator in a program and you see the opportunity. So what you have done is you've put together a skill set that will allow you to conduct an evaluation. They don't have to be big, huge ones. Sometimes it's nice to evaluate smaller programs and then build your confidence and your capacity to do larger evaluations. You will have opportunities to be part of a team. So a lot of times school divisions will advertise for people interested in taking part in an evaluation. I know at the university it happens all the time, looking for evaluators. I have worked with other colleges on campus. People have come to me and asked me to do evaluations of their programs, and that's kind of slick. There are also plenty of non-NGOs, non-funded organizations that are looking for opportunities. So if you want to develop your skills without the pressure of all the budget hassle that goes with it, then then you can work with some of these smaller organizations. And there are also other funded organizations that provide opportunities as well. With most funding that comes out today, there is a stipulation that a program evaluation has to take place as a condition of receiving all or part of the funding, or the capstone funding that comes at the end, or the funding to proceed with a program. And I've got a number of examples on the website here. There's some sample proposals. There are requests for proposals as well, and then there's some completed evaluation reports. So if you can see what exists out in your world, in Saskatchewan, locally, there are a lot of opportunities for you, and generally they're going to ask you, well, if I go into one of these requests, this one might be a little bit on the huge side. Yeah, it is, but it does, you know, it pretty much sets out what you need to do. So this is the state of New Mexico, and they're looking for team nutrition request for proposals. So an RPF, what are they looking for? Scope of the work, summary, background information, conditions. So they call this a procurement. So this is pretty in depth, but proposal evaluation, how they're going to go about it. So there's sometimes a lot of really in-depth information related to a program evaluation or a request for proposal. Let's see if there's anything smaller here. This one is Agency of Human Services evaluation of the Global Commitment to Health Waiver, whatever the heck that means. But you can see here again what they're looking for as far as guidelines. And so you would address each one of these, put in a submission, try to guess what you think it might cost to be able to do that, and then they would hear back from you based on, as you can see here, the proposal selection process that they have in place. And then the completed ones, you can take a look at those, and again, some of them are specific to Saskatchewan, and that's why I have included them. So hopefully this has been a good opportunity for you. I apologize for my sickness, and I'm amazed that I've been able to get through these videos to provide you with some hopefully useful information. But you will have watched 3 videos today. You'll have gone through a variety of material under course content, PowerPoints and files, Module 4 resources, and the video that we're completing right now will show up just above sharing findings at some point in time today. So that's the information you'll need. As well, I need you to go into your My Group section over here and create a posting that talks about your experience with assignment 5, and then you would reply at least once to each of the other people in your group, and that should only be 3, 4 at the most other people, hopefully by Monday evening. So that gives you the rest of the weekend to work on that. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that happened a la the St. Patrick's Day weekend with regards to program evaluation, get in touch with me. And if not, I look forward to seeing you on March 31st.